Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna record y'all. Go ahead. Talk to. I got y'all. Don't think I ain't got you. You're wrong. I'm gonna sit on the other end and record both of y'all. All right. Okay.
Alright, so about how old are you when the Civil Rights Movement began?
Well, let me see. 98 now. 40 years ago. I would say about 75. Around between 65 and 75. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I hadn't really counted it as I should have. That was during 65, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 50s, 60s.
This is 20, yeah, about 70, between 65 and 70. Huh? What? 50 something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's been what? 40 years ago?
More than 40, 50, over 50 years.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't that old. Should have been around in the 50s, 60s.
So you're in your 50s?
50s.
Maybe.
Yeah. Between 40 and 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's that age level. Between 40 and 50. I say it that way.
Right.
Because I hadn't counted it up.
And you worked in education?
Yeah.
What was that like?
What was it like?
Yeah.
Oh, it mainly worked with the children, with what's called teaching the children. I started off in the first grade, called first grade, beginners children. And I taught the first grade about, I guess about 5 years in the first grade, teaching the first grade. Then when I moved from the first grade, I taught third grade. Moved up to the third grade, that grade level. Taught third grade, I would say about 10 years. And from the third grade, then I moved up to the sixth grade. And taught the sixth grade. Well, I've taught the total number of years, around 32 years, my total teaching career. I moved from the elementary teaching classes to the called special education. Very slow children, very slow. And they moved from out of the classroom, just a regular class. They weren't having regular class. They were having special classes. We taught them special, gave them special lessons because they were not as apt to get whatever you were teaching as the other children. You have to move them out of the classroom. And you call them special education. You call that teaching special education. And I taught special education. I don't know exactly how many years I was in special education. Then I went back to the regular classroom and started teaching. I retired teaching when I was teaching the third, went back to the third grade. That was my favorite, really my favorite grade. Went back to teaching the third grade until I retired. I believe I taught that third grade until I retired from the teaching career altogether. I think I'm right on that. But, oh man, but my total teaching years was 32 years, as I said, starting with the first grade, then the third grade, then special education, and back to when I retired, had gone back to teaching third graders. And that really was what I liked. I liked that grade level, better than the other grade. I liked it better than I taught the sixth grade classes for a number of years. And my special grade level was the third grade graders when they knew naturally they would know a little better than the first and second grader. At that third grade level, it was my special grade level because they had moved from the first and second grade, and then they had not moved up at the time to the fifth and sixth grade. Now I taught sixth graders for about I would say about 30 years. And in other words, I have taught first grade classes, third grade classes, and sixth graders. Those three levels, grade levels, I've worked in those three grade levels for my whole teaching career of my teaching career. That was the whole 32 years that I taught.
Call from wireless caller.
Hello.
Let me see.
Or
Now at that time when I was
Hold on one second.
okay, I didn't know whether
Elijah Smith wants to speak to you. So should I have him call you back? You
Yeah.
call him back?
I called back.
Can he call you? Can she call you back? I'm great. Yeah, I mean, we'll call you back. We'll call you back, Elijah. Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm sorry, John.
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Cut that out.
What was I about to say about my entire teaching career? I taught first grade, third grade, sixth grade, and special education. As I told you about special children, they didn't learn as readily, as quickly as the
other kids.
yeah. So we call them special education. And I don't know how many years I taught in special education. A number of years. Well, just before I retired, I know I went back into the teaching the third graders. That's when I retired from that grade.
John, you got a low battery. I don't know what John.
Just keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling, okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
And
Now let me see.
so were schools segregated at this time?
Segregated?
Yeah, were schools segregated?
Yes. No whites were attending the classes that I taught. I didn't have any whites to attend. They were segregated at that time. All the time that I taught was segregated, and buses and everything were segregated. So no whites and blacks attended at that time. Mm-hmm. Anything?
What kinds of forms of discrimination did you experience growing up?
Did I experience?
Yeah.
Well, everything was separate. They said separate but equal. When we went to the buses to catch the bus, you had a special, a separate, I mean, separate restroom. The whites and blacks did not sit in the same, waiting for the buses or whatever you were waiting for the buses to come, and everything was just segregated at that time. The whites had their riding, the buses. We look, the whites and blacks rode the same bus, but the blacks had to sit in the back on that back seat, and when that seat filled up, that very last seat on the bus filled up, then you stood up. You just stood there and held on to a rail, a head. You couldn't sit up any further than that black back seat unless there was no whites to occupy them. If whites occupied those other seats, then you had to just stand after you filled up that one back seat.
What other kinds of segregation were there? What other kinds of segregation were there?